Hello again. So, hills, riding up hills, how do you get better at it? How do you get faster at it? Well, unfortunately, you can't get away from the fact that if you want to be faster at cycling up hills, you have to get fitter. The fitter you are, the faster you will go. But there are a few things you can do to get better at it without getting fitter, or certainly to enjoy climbing hills and rather than dread them by doing a few things that make things easier. Firstly, you might think that climbing up hills, cycling up hills uses different muscles. Well, it doesn't really use significantly different muscles because you're still sat on the same seat. The seat and the pedals are in similar relative positions and the bars are in the same relative position. So your body position is much the same if you sat on the saddle. And if you're climbing out of the saddle, then you just adjust your body weight forward a bit if the hill's steeper and backward a bit if the hill's not so steep, and you're keeping your body weight in the same position relative to the pedals. So that's much the same as well. If you think about the gradients, then you might think that might use different muscles because gravity's pushing in a different direction. But if you think about a steep road climb, we've got this chart here, like a 10% road climb is quite steep. But actually that's only 6 degrees, or a bit less than 6 degrees actually. So that's not a big gradient, although obviously it affects the way the bike moves and the way the bike performs, because gravity becomes increasingly important as you go up steeper hills. And even a very steep climb, 25%, which is very rare to get on the road, and quite steep if you're off-road on a mountain bike. It's the sort of gradient that you have to start thinking about keeping the front wheel on the ground, keeping a bit of weight over the front wheel, and if it's a loose surface you have to sit down to stop the back wheel spinning. And therefore, but that's still only 15 degrees. So the way it changes gravity and how that affects on your pedalling is not really a lot. So what can you do? Well, you can use the right gear. If you are riding up a lot of hills and you're finding that you don't have low enough gears to have a nice fast cadence, sort of 80, 90 or 100 revs per minute, then you probably need to think about changing your gears. And if you're not sure how to do that, then go to a good bike shop and they'll help you get some better gears for riding up hills. And once you get the right gears, you'll actually find it much easier. Don't think it's macho to ride giant gears all the time and push really hard, because it's counterproductive. You don't go any faster and you just get tired more quickly, and you don't enjoy the experience as much. And actually, riding at a proper, sensible, efficient cadence will make you go faster. And moving on from cadence, get into a comfortable position so you're sat nicely on the saddle, you're pedalling comfortably, not too hard, something that you know you can sustain for the length of the climb. Sit up a little bit more and then you can let more air into your lungs so you can breathe more effectively and relax as you climb the hill. So the next thing is, once you've got a good cadence, select the right gear so that you're going at a pace that is sustainable. If it's a short climb, you can probably power up it. If it's a long climb, then you have to pace it more carefully so that you can go at a pace that is sustainable. If you're out for a long day and you're doing lots of short climbs, then you can probably go a little bit harder on the climbs. It's a little bit more efficient and faster. So if you were doing an event like a sportif or even a ultra endurance event, you can do the climbs a little bit more harder than you ride on the flat, or and you can use the downhills to recover, because you can't really generate a lot of power on downhills. However, if you're riding really long hills, then you still want to be staying in your endurance zone, because the more you go above your aerobic threshold, what's known as your aerobic threshold, I did another video on aerobic thresholds, you might want to check that out. I'll link it at the end. The more you go above your aerobic threshold, the more you muscle carbohydrate stores that you're using, and they run out. You only have a finite supply of carbohydrates in your muscles and your body. So you need to try and stay below this aerobic threshold. I mean, some climbs in the Alps could take you 2 or 3 hours, or even in the Pyrenees around here, take you a couple of hours to get up, and that's actually a long ride in itself. So you need to be pacing carefully, sit in a comfortable position and take it easy so that you don't get overly tired because if you do get overly tired, hills are an absolute nightmare. You may know that. It's certainly not a situation you want to be in. And finally, practice. The more hills you do, the better you'll get at them, and the more you'll start to enjoy them. And the more that you enjoy them, the more you'll want to do, and the better you'll get. And it's all like a positive cycle. And as you enjoy doing more and more hills, the fitter you'll get and the faster you'll get. So I hope this helps. Please subscribe if you find it useful. Click the bell to get a reminder of other videos, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.